What up, everyone? This is Mr. Lord, Dr. Professor, Dark Joker, with another edition of Where, Pick, and Dare, where I pick games for the various games that are occurring tomorrow. Whether it's football, baseball, basketball, basically whatever games I want to pick, I will pick them. With all that being said, on with the video. College men's basketball. Purdue Boilermakers versus Ohio State Buckeyes. Purdue is a 65.8% chance to win. Ohio State is a 34.2% chance to win. This is at Ohio State. Uh, Purdue is 8 in the nation, 22-6 record. Ohio State's unranked 17-11 record. For stats, Purdue has more points per game. Ohio State has more points against. Purdue has a higher field goal percentage. It has more rebounds per game, assists per game, blocks per game, and steals per game. These stats are pretty close, so I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think Ohio State will beat Purdue tomorrow. Michigan State Spartans versus Indiana Hoosiers. Michigan State has a 55.6% chance to win. Indiana has a 44.4% chance to win. This is at Indiana. Michigan State's 13 nation, 23-5 record. Indiana's unranked 17-11 record. For stats, Indiana has more points per game, points against. Field goal percentage is even. Michigan State has more rebounds per game, assists per game, blocks per game, and steals per game. These stats are pretty close, so I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think Indiana will beat Michigan State tomorrow. College women's basketball. Texas Longhorns versus Alabama Crimson Tide. Texas has an 89.8% chance to win, and Alabama has a 10.2% chance to win. This is at Alabama. So Texas is 4 nation, 27-3 record. Alabama is 24 nation, 21-8 record. For stats, Texas has more points per game. Bama has more points against. Texas has a higher field goal percentage and has more rebounds per game, assists per game. Bama has more blocks per game, and Texas has more steals per game. The only stat that's really a big difference is points per game. That's a 15.1 difference in favor of Texas. So yeah, so now with home field advantage, I mean it's not football, so you know while Bama may have a decent crowd there since they're ranked, it's not football, so the crowd's definitely not the level of the football crowd, like for in Tuscaloosa. So yeah, so despite whatever home field advantage Alabama will have with the points per game advantage, I think Texas will beat Alabama tomorrow. Duke Blue Devils versus North Carolina Tar Heels. Duke has a 53.6% chance to win, and North Carolina has a 46.4% chance to win. This is at North Carolina. Duke is 12 nation, 21-7 record. North Carolina is 21 nation, 24-6 record. For stats, uh, North Carolina has more points per game. Duke has more points against. North Carolina has a higher field goal percentage. Duke has more rebounds per game, assists per game, blocks per game, and steals per game. These stats are pretty close, so I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think North Carolina will beat Duke tomorrow. Ohio State Buckeyes versus Michigan State Spartans. Ohio State has a 36.1% chance to win, and Michigan State has a 63.9% chance to win. This is at Michigan State. Ohio State's 13 nation, 23-6 record. Michigan State's 15 nation, 22-6 record. Uh, for for stats, Michigan State has more points per game. Ohio State has more points against. Michigan State has a higher field goal percentage. Ohio State has more rebounds per game. Michigan State has more assists per game. Ohio State has more blocks per game and steals per game. These stats are pretty close, so I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think Michigan State will beat Ohio State tomorrow. South Carolina Gamecocks versus Kentucky Wildcats. South Carolina has an 82.2% chance to win, and Kentucky has a 17.8% chance to win. This is Kentucky, South Carolina's 3 nation, 28-2 record. Kentucky 16 nation, 21-8 record. Um, yeah, so for stats, South Carolina has more points per game. Kentucky has more points against. South Carolina has a higher field goal percentage. It has more rebounds per game, assists per game. Kentucky has more blocks per game, and South Carolina has more steals per game. The only stat that's really big difference is points per game, which is a 12.0 difference in favor of South Carolina. So despite the home field advantage that Kentucky has, I think with the points per game advantage, I think South Carolina will beat Kentucky tomorrow. Baylor Bears versus TCU Horned Frogs. Baylor's a 23% chance to win, and TCU is the same 7% chance to win. This is at TCU. Baylor is 18 nation, 24-6 record. TCU is 11 nation, 26-4 record. For stats, TCU is more points per game. Baylor is more points against. TCU is a higher field goal percentage. It has more rebounds per game, assists per game. Baylor is more blocks per game, and TCU is more steals per game. These stats are pretty close, so I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think TCU will beat Baylor tomorrow. NBA. San Antonio Spurs versus New York Knicks. The Spurs have a 47.6% chance to win, and the Knicks have a 52.4% chance to win. This is at New York. For injuries, for the Spurs, Ingram's is a game time decision, and Jones Garcia is out for the year. For the Knicks, McBride is out. For stats, Spurs have more points per game, points against, higher field goal percentage, more rebounds per game. Knicks have more assists per game. Spurs have more blocks per game, and Knicks have more steals per game. These stats are pretty close, so I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think the Knicks will beat the Spurs tomorrow. Minnesota Timberwolves versus Denver Nuggets. The Wolves have a 44.7% chance to win. The Nuggets have a 55.3% chance to win. This is at Denver. For injuries, for the Nuggets, Goran's a game time decision, and Watson and Bates are out. For stats, Nuggets have more points per game, points against, higher field goal percentage. Wolves have more rebounds per game. Nuggets have more assists per game. Wolves have more blocks per game and steals per game. These stats are pretty close, so I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think the Nuggets will beat the Timberwolves tomorrow. Detroit Pistons versus Orlando Magic. The Pistons have a 64.8% chance to win. The Magic have a 35.2% chance to win. This is at Orlando. For injuries, for the Pistons, Stewart's out for suspension. For the Magic, Wagner's out. For stats, Pistons have more points per game. Magic have more points against. Pistons have a higher field goal percentage and have more rebounds per game, assists per game, blocks per game, and steals per game. These stats are pretty close, so I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think the Magic will beat the Pistons tomorrow. Philadelphia 76ers versus Boston Celtics. The Sixers have a 32.1% chance to win, and the Celtics have a 67.9% chance to win. This is at Boston. Um, for injuries, for the Sixers, Embiid and Beauchamp are game time decisions. Broom is out, and George is out for suspension. And for the Celtics, Tatum's out. For stats, the Sixers have more points per game, points against. Celtics have a higher field goal percentage and have more rebounds per game. Sixers have more assists per game, blocks per game, and steals per game. These stats are pretty close, so I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think with home field advantage and with some of the injury concerns with some of the Sixers players, I think the Celtics will beat the 76ers tomorrow. College baseball. Ole Miss Rebels versus Coastal Carolina Chanticleers. Ole Miss is 25 nation, 10-1 record. Coastal Carolina is 9 nation, 6-4 record. This is part of the Bruce Bolt College Classic. So this is in Houston, Texas. So obviously this is a long ways away for both teams as far as who might have the home field advantage. It's probably gonna be Ole Miss. Ole Miss has a bigger fan base in general when it comes to sports. I mean, so and baseball, they do have a big baseball fan base. Granted, so is the entire state of Mississippi. But like, yeah. So I think there's gonna be a lot more Ole Miss fans there and Coastal Carolina fans, even though Coastal Carolina is higher ranked. You know, but Ole Miss has won more games. That's obviously a big deal. I mean, Coastal Carolina might not. I don't even know if they're going to be top 10 after this weekend. I mean, losing 4 games this early in the season before conference play starts. I mean, I don't know if I'd be hesitant to put them in the top 10. But yeah, I think with the home field advantage and with the SEC just being what it is in baseball, I think Ole Miss will beat Coastal Carolina tomorrow. Florida Gators versus Miami Hurricanes. Florida is 10 nation, 11-1 record. Miami 17 nation, 10-2 record. This is at Miami. So Florida's up 2-0 in the series. So they clinched the series. So that means both of Miami's losses are to Florida. And this was in Miami, one of the big baseball towns in the nation. Like, where I mean it is like of course you have the Marlins, you have the Miami Hurricanes, you have obviously the high schools. You know, Florida went into Miami and beat Miami. In baseball, that is not an easy thing to do. To win a series at Miami, that is not easy. Florida, obviously, being one of the bigger SEC schools, I freaking hate the Gators, but hey, credit where credit's due. They clinched the series. Anyway, I don't think it's gonna be a sweep. I do not believe it'll be a sweep. That would be embarrassing for Miami. Miami gets swept. I don't know if they'll be in the top 25. They might be. I mean, considering yeah, I mean, if you could justify Coastal Carolina being top 25 with 4 losses, they Miami could probably stay in with 3. But I don't think a sweep's going to happen. I don't think a sweep's going to happen in Coral Gables. So I think Miami will beat Florida tomorrow to salvage a win in this series. Mississippi State Bulldogs versus UCLA Bruins. Mississippi State's 4 in the nation, 11-0 record. And so UCLA, they're number 1. Currently, they're 7-2. Now, they are currently playing Texas A&M at the time of recording this. It's 6-1, bomb to 5th. And they're UCLA is winning. If they hang on to win, they'll be 8-2. So yeah. So then that makes things and so tomorrow's the big one for this series. So this is part of the Amagi Bank College Baseball Series. So this is in Arlington, Texas. So, long ways for both schools, but Mississippi State, I'm sure will have bigger crowd there. I mean, Mississippi State fans generally do travel well for baseball. You know, there's a reason they show up very well in Omaha and Hoover. And so but UCLA they might have a decent crowd there. I mean, who knows? But this is a big series. I mean, top 5 teams. Like if there was a college game day for college baseball, they would be at this game tomorrow. Like it's probably one of the biggest games of the year before conference play starts. Whoever wins this might be the number 1 team at the next polls. Like very high possibility of that whoever wins could be number 1. I think with the way Mississippi State's been playing, like with how they've been playing, and with them likely having a better better like crowd there for them than UCLA will have. I think Mississippi State is gonna beat UCLA tomorrow, and that's it for picks. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to my picks. Do you agree with them? Do you not? If you have different picks, you can put them in the comments. But other than that, please like, subscribe, and all that. Thank you for listening and look forward to the next video.